Hey guys, this is Joe Morrow with Private Pilot Life, and I just wanted to do a quick video to show you basically what my journey was, and it started right here at Evansburg Airport. And as I pan around here, you'll be able to see here's the little FBO, and some fuel tanks, some hangars, just a little wee runway, which I'll go over later when I get up here. And I'm just going to shut this off for right now until we get up to the building there. Alright guys, so here we are, Evansburg Airport. Meet MSL 2099. And just take a walk out and around here. This is where, when I got my pilot's license, this is where it started. And there you can see runway 7 and 25. Windsock out there. And I'm just going to go in here to see one of the cool things that happens whenever you do solo is you get your shirt cut, your tail, the back end of your shirt cut off. And I am going to show you, I believe mine may still even be in here from when I got it. So we'll just walk through here. Hopefully it's open. Yep. And let's see here. And we'll just see here. Here's the different solos, I should say, that people have done. Pictures. Don't see that I'm on here exactly. But let me see if I can go here. There we go. Here's a little pilot's lounge. And you can see all the shirts that were cut out of people over the years. And if you look, there's mine right there. And boy, it's hard to see. It looks like it's 8/10 of 11, which would be in my logbook. And Dave Vitko was my flight instructor. That was my first solo with the 172. And for that, I got my shirt cut out. And kind of a rite of passage here. But I'm going to go outside here in just a second. So just wanted to show you my journey here. Maybe I'll pop into the next room. A couple bathrooms in here. We got all kind of model airplanes up on the top here. There's the office. And right there is where I sat with Dave Vitko. He has since passed, but great flight instructor. And this is where it started for me. I had to finish up when I moved out to New Mexico with a few other flight instructors, which I'll get to later on in this channel. I always thought this was cool, this map here of let's see, so we got Pennsylvania, of course, and then there's Lake Erie and Lake Huron and Lake Ontario. But I believe we're this little speck. Is that us right there? Let me just take a peek here. I gotta look at this real quick. Boy, I'm gonna have to study this. It's been a long time since I've been up here. But at any rate, we'll go over all that here later. Just wanted to show you the airport where I started at. I'm going to go out here on the runway and the taxiways and just get a little bit of footage there. And we'll pick it up from there. Alright, so here we are on the taxiway. And there's runway 7 and 25. And I remember when I did my solo, and sorry about the wind up here. We're on the top of the mountain here. Which I may turn here in just a second. Right about where that second blue light is, my flight instructor at the time says to me, pull over here, or basically stop. So I did, and he says, you ready? And I think I might have 20 some hours in, and I honestly, at that time, I had no idea if I was ready. He asked me, do you have any questions? I said, yeah, I have one question. He said, what's that? I said, have I been flying this plane the whole time? Because after the first flight, you're so focused on the controls and the instruments yourself that you don't know if you've actually been flying or not. So he says, yes, you've been flying since day 2 of being up here. And I'm like, all right, well then, I'm ready. So anyway, I taxied down there to 25 and took off. And that experience of coming down the runway, and then once you get to about midfield here and you take off and your first wheel's off the ground and the second set of wheels, your mains, are off the ground, you know that you're committed. It's kind of like a roller coaster. Once you go, it's like no turning back. You got to enter the pattern, come around, and land. And I'll tell you, that was a heck of an experience. One I wouldn't trade for anything. So anyway, I'm going to go down to where my airplane is hangared at the Martinsburg airport, and we'll pick it up from there. Alright guys, I'm down here at the Martinsburg airport where my plane is hangared. Just thought I'd continue my story. Started out flying 172, and when I moved to New Mexico, I had about 28 hours in at that time, and I moved to a small town called Clayton, New Mexico. And in order for me to get my license, I had to actually purchase an airplane. And yes, that seems like it's putting the cart before the horse, but it was such a small town and there was nobody else there that rented airplanes. There was no flight instructors. I actually had to go to Dalhart, Texas, which was about 50 minutes away as far as driving. And I really wanted to continue this, so to stay current on my way out there, I actually went to Colorado first and got some flight time at Centennial Airport and a 172, and then I did a lot of research to find out which airplane I really wanted to purchase to fly across the country. And it was a perfect time to transition. And now that's debatable. A lot of people want you to have your license before you get to a more complex airplane, but you know, I asked a couple different flight instructors, and some said yes, some said no. And of course, if it's going to be your airplane and you're going to get used to it, you've already, like myself, had 28 hours in, and it just made sense to purchase the plane that I wanted, that gave me the best fuel economy, but yet didn't fly at 80 knots, for instance, if I was going across the country. So the Comanche 260 was kind of middle of the road. They make a 250, a 260, and a 400, and for 13 gallons per hour or less, this plane does 160 knots plus, depending on headwind, tailwind. And anyway, as you can see here, I soloed in Dalhart, Texas on August 14th, 2012. And so this is a year later, after my original solo date of the 172, which I really wasn't aware of until just this second here as I'm filming this. So anyway, I will take you out to the hangar next. Alright guys, here we are. My hangar. Hangar 24. And as a private pilot, a lot of things people don't realize are how much expense there is involved in this. It's a very expensive hobby. And so There's my key. Let me just see if I can open this here. I'm on the camera. And there she is. Comanche 260 Papa Charlie, which you can see the tail number there. So, at any rate, the cost of hanger rental varies from place to place. As you can see, this hanger doesn't have concrete the whole way around. It just has it where your plane sits. And this is an older hanger. In fact, I think they're going to start tearing these down here within the next 1 to 2 years. There's going to be some new hangers put up. That's good and bad. It's good that it has all the latest and greatest, but of course the price will go up. Could be $225 a month, $250. And when you're a private pilot and you just want to fly once in a while, a lot of people are weekend warriors. You have to, obviously you pay for the plane, kind of like a car. You have a monthly payment, unless you have that kind of finances where you can just pay for your plane outright. You have insurance that you have to pay. You have to have, let's see, the fuel costs, which depending how sporty your plane is, or what they consider high performance, anything above 200 horsepower. And mine has retractable gear. It has controllable pitch prop on it, and it's a 260 horsepower. So yeah, the whole reason I developed this channel, or creating this channel I should say, is just to kind of give my testimony of what it's been like to get my pilot's certificate. A lot of people call them a license. I believe the correct terminology is certificate. But to show how enjoyable it is, but also the other side of it. For instance, I didn't know I was going to have to be a meteorologist. That just never even occurred to me that you had to know how depending on the weather is whether you can go or not, and depending what equipment you have on your plane, whether you have FIKI, which is flying into known ice, and if it's certified or not, which my plane is not. Obviously, there's no boots. There's no liquid that would come out here to melt off any of the ice. Some of them have a heated windshield. Some of them have a heated prop and tail. So there's a lot that has to be considered, and there's a lot to this. I thought, and this is just me being honest, I've had all kinds of things in my life, mechanical things such as 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, backhoes, cherry pickers for logging trees, and I really could get onto them pretty quick. I was very mechanically inclined in uh, that way. But I'll tell you what, flying is different. I mean, you have a yoke and you got pedals, and you're using both hands and feet and scanning across the panel, which I'll show you here in just a minute. But yeah, there's a lot to it, and I'm not trying to discourage anybody because it is awesome, but it's nice to know everything that's involved. And so here on this channel, Private Pilot Life, I hope to depict a lot of that along the way. So I'm going to cut it off now, and we'll climb in the cabin there once I get this door opened up. All right, let's climb in the cabin here and see what we come up with. Okay. All right, so here's the panel, and there's all kinds of different types of instruments in the various panels. There's typically a standard 6-pack, which the Comanche I don't believe came with. And if you switch from this plane to another plane that's a standard, it's a little more difficult to scan. And this becomes more evident when you become an IFR pilot. I have my VFR right now. I'm working towards my IFR, And I have all the requirements done. Um, I just need to get a little more proficient, get up and practice. I still have to take my written, and I think a lot of people are like me and they procrastinate because they don't want to take that test. But um, it's one of those things where I'm just going to have to, you know, bite the bullet, sit down and study my butt off, and get to it. Recently, in the past couple years, I got a new GTN 750, which that's this here, and then a new audio. Let's see if this thing audio panel. This is kind of self. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not. It's automatically adjusting for the light, and obviously the sun's coming in. So hopefully you can see that okay. Um, let's see. This channel wasn't meant to try to teach anything. I'm not a flight instructor, so I gotta say right up front here is, with the first video, that this is just me giving my testimony of my personal experience, my plane, and as we move forward, maybe we'll take some trips together and I can show you, some of the things you got to look for and prepare for, because a lot of this is preparing for the weather, as I said earlier, making sure you have enough fuel to get where you're going, make sure there's a weight and balance done to make sure that you can haul safely, um, the amount of weight. And there's a trade-off. Sometimes you have to give up some fuel in order to haul more weight, whether that be passengers, luggage, what have you. Let's see. Yeah, I also got a new transponder here, and it's ADS-B, which is going to be a requirement, I believe, by 2020, but I'm not sure. I just got it done anyway. It's something I needed uh, changed out at the time. Recently, this is something I might as well talk about here real quick. My DG, directional gyro, that's this instrument right here. In 2015, I had it overhauled, and it was completely overhauled. Got it back, got it put in, seemed like it was working all right. Here, within the past few months, I got this plane back from an annual, and it started proceeding whenever I was flying, to the point where it just started spinning in circles when I was doing touch and go. So I had to take it out and send it back. I was hoping that they would give me a break on the rebuild, since I had that company do it. Now, this is 2018, and the work was done in 2015, but I only had 90 hours on the plane since. And of course, they said that's it's out of warranty. So $850 later, to have this redone again for the second time, it is now back in. I did fly it. I tested it. Everything works great with it. And I guess we'll go over some other instruments as we go here. But I just wanted to show you the inside of the cockpit. That was the panel there. And here's my back seat. And I have 3 Bose headsets, and then one kind of knockoff set. I won't even be considered a knockoff. It's just a generic brand, and I got it really cheap out in let's see, I think it was Raton, New Mexico, and they just happened to be selling one, and I needed one at the time. But since then, I've gotten 3 Bose. Not all at the same time, obviously. They're very expensive, and for those that don't know, they're about $1,000 a piece. And I couldn't afford to get 4 place. There's 4 seats here. There's those back 2, and then these 2 here. The pilot, co-pilot, if you will. And so I have 3 Bose, and I'm kind of glad because they come out with a new headset. It's mainly for jets, but what I've been hearing is that they work well for the piston props as well. I'm curious to get that and put it in. If you're flying long distances for hours and hours, even the Bose, I mean, these are great. They're very comfortable, and you can hear really well. They have the noise canceling. They're Bluetooth. I mean, they're just wonderful. But when you're flying for hours, you know, anything around your ears like that pressure, it tends to bother you after a while, at least me personally. But I love the bows. Obviously, I do because I started with one and I have three. I was going to get that fourth set, but what I think I'm going to do is keep the three for the passengers and the co-pilot, and get that new set that's not, which I'll have to put a link at the bottom of this if I can find the latest technology they got that are less restrictive. You know, they're more for jets, I guess, because they're a lot quieter. But anyway, this is a low budget project. As you can see, I'm using my iPhone for now. I may end up getting some other cameras as we move forward here. But I just wanted to, in the first episode here, is just kind of film where I started, what my plane looks like, and how I ended up to here. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them under the comments there. And I'm not sure if I'm going to fly today or not. One of the other limitations living in the Northeast is the ice that you have to worry about. Today's a beautiful day, though. It's quite calm. I have to look at the weather here real quick before I decide I'm going to go or not. And I may just stay in the pattern, do some takeoff and landings. And in that case, I do have, which I guess I'll show you here. Let's see. Let me move my bows. And this is basically to connect my iPad. So I could probably use my iPad and do a quick video as we're flying, or use my phone and connect it as well. So anyway, again, for now it's low budget, so as you can tell, I'm just basically doing a little bit of there, it finally focused, footage, and I can tell you all kinds of stories of, you know, since I owned this plane. It was beautiful, it was awesome, it still is, but one of the things you got to worry about is trusting the people that are doing your work or doing your annuals. The gentleman that worked on it in Dalhart, his name was Chuck. He's awesome. I definitely recommend him. Since I moved home here to Pennsylvania, there's a local group that I used, which I'm just not going to say, but never, ever, ever go back to them again. I found another mechanic since. And, but anyway, again, that's private pilot life. And that'll be it for this episode. Take care, you guys. Just went through Alright guys, I'm back on the ground. I did 3 takeoff and landings. The one that I filmed, I was Bluetoothing to my audio panel, and I thought that it would pick it up, but apparently it only picks up when I'm broadcasting, I guess. I don't know. This is all new, so what I should have done was Bluetoothed into the A20 or my headset, and I'll know that next time. So you'll see me take off, you'll hear the plane, but you won't hear me so much. Next time I'll try to do a better job of getting that on there. I was hoping I got it this time, and again, this is trial and error. This is the first video, so bear with me, and I hope to get better. But now I got to get her back in the hangar, which the older you get, those things right there, those little tow motors, they help a lot. And that's about what I'm going to do here. I'm going to get things wrapped up. Sun's going down, starting to get chilly here in the Northeast, so I want to get her put away. And if the line guys are still here, I'm going to get them to come top it off. And there's a reason why we do that. So we'll get into that kind of stuff down the road. But I will see you in the next video of private pilot life. Take care, you guys. Alright. So, just got fuel. I did 3 takeoff and landings, and it was 4.9 gallon. And he just said it was like, $4.99 a gallon, which was up to $4.35, $4.45. And of course, to the line guys, when they bring the truck, it's 25 cents more than if you do self-serve. So you do get a break. But getting things wrapped up here, gonna close it up for today. Just thought I'd add that. You know, $5 a gallon, 5 times 5, 25 bucks. Turn the light on in here. I can find it. There we go. Yeah, so 25 bucks to come out and do 3 takeoff and landings. It was a nice evening, actually. Lots of other planes out here for this area. I can come out here and just be out here by myself. And sometimes I just drive out in the middle of winter just to check on my plane and make sure batteries and things like that are charged up and all that kind of stuff. But I guess that's about it. I just thought I'd come on as a PS to that video and just say that the line guy was here and the prices have actually come down a little bit on fuel. But just to give you an idea, in a high performance complex airplane like this, 3 takeoff and landings to complete stop was about 5 gallon. And there you have it. Till the next video. Take care, you guys.